We begin tonight with a major decision today from the U.S. Supreme Court in one of the most anticipated rulings of its term. The justices upheld Tennessee's ban on so-called gender-affirming care for minors. By a vote of 6-3, the decision protects the Trump administration and other Republican state governments from legal challenges in their effort to roll back so-called gender-affirming care. 26 states have laws similar to the one in Tennessee. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote the majority opinion. He says Tennessee's law does not violate the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause. In a dissent joined by her liberal colleagues, Justice Sonia Sotomayor says the decision, quote, abandons transgender children and their families to political whims. And joining us now is Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti. Mr. Attorney General, thank you so much for coming on. First of all, your thoughts. Did today's ruling surprise you?
We put in a pretty strong case, and you never want to take anything for granted, but this isn't anything outside the scope of, what we thought might happen. And it's a great win for democracy. I mean, this case really says that the elected representatives of the people of Tennessee and not federal judges are the ones who ought to be making these policy calls. So this really reaffirms the heart of what America is about.
Mr. Attorney General, what sort of reaction have we seen so far in the state of Tennessee?
In Tennessee, most of the reaction has been incredibly enthusiastic. People cared a lot about this law. It was the first law up in each house of our legislature that year, passed by a bipartisan supermajority. Obviously, there are some people that are very upset by the outcome, that are really worried about what the future might bring. But overall, the reaction has been ebullient.
Yeah, speaking of the future, writing for the majority, it was Chief Justice John Roberts who emphasized that the court only decided whether this law is unconstitutional or not, but added that the court leaves questions regarding the policy to the people and their representatives. So do you think that this is resolved, or could we see a fight ahead?
Well, in America, people disagree about things, and we have these mechanisms for our disagreement. And the Constitution puts up guardrails on what our legislatures can do, what Congress can do. But within those guardrails, we disagree with each other. We fight about it. We argue. Votes are taken. And if things change over time, so be it. We govern ourselves. And this is just a way of the court reaffirming that we are a self-governing people. And we as a people are able to make these decisions about the law.
Yeah, and it was Justice Sotomayor who said that this decision abandons transgender children and their families to political whims. What's your response to that?
So if you look at the research on this, it has been politicized and infected by ideology, but it's been infected by people on the side of transitioning kids. And the WPATH research that is at the heart of all these practices is riddled with compromises as a result of outright fraud, trying to make it easier for litigators on the other side to win cases. If you look at countries that actually follow the evidence, as the Tennessee legislature did, you see countries like the United Kingdom and Sweden and Norway, which are very politically different than Tennessee, who came to this conclusion not as a result of a culture war, but because they want to protect their kids, and they have seen evidence that these radical interventions cause lifelong harm. There's huge risk and very little, if any, benefit shown by the research.
Well, Jonathan Skrmetti, thank you so much for your insight. We really appreciate it. Attorney General of Tennessee.
Thank you.